How'd we get here, Frankie? You're so beautiful. Do you know how beautiful you are? Yes, you're so beautiful. But this meal, super inexpensive, and this isn't little. Mega sandwiches. I think I got 1, 2. And if you stick around to the end, you'll hear me rant. You wanna know my biggest gripe with vegans? First thing, a couple cans of chickpeas. Let them strain. Green onions or scallions. You can also use red onion if you don't have green onion like this, but I just have to use these up. We won't need a ton of veg prep, so I'm just gonna clean up the scallions. These I'm just gonna dice. I tend to throw away the last maybe ½ an inch of it, just because it's all frayed. And then, quick dice, break them all up. And then I find that if you ever leave the scallions in there for too long or green onions in there for too long and they seem a little bit sad and lonely, a little bit wilted, just run them under some cold water. And then I let them sit like this, so they drip into this, and then they'll usually come back to life within a couple minutes. 1 lemon. The lemon, we're just gonna use the microplane along the edges because I'm gonna use the skin and the juice. Might as well get as much as possible out of every single ingredient we use, right? And I've said it before, but unwaxed lemons work best for this. And then if you have a lemon juicer, the seeds out. After the green onions are all strained out, I just add them to the bowl, empty the bowl of water, add them to this, so they're at the ready. Cucumber, it's a little baby one. Stem, diced, so. And cucumbers, unlike the aubergine in the last video, the skins, it's easier to cut through, so I do it right on top here. A similar size as the chickpeas. Try to make everything this same size. It's a textural and a mouthfeel thing for me, and it's also super consistent. Red cabbage. Make sure the outside skin is clean. Shave this with a knife. Dice. And this is going to add a fantastic crunchy texture, which I love, instead of using potato chips, which I could do, but we're going for healthy. Jalapeno, this would be optional. For me, it's a necessity. Quick dice, cut it in half. If you're concerned about heat, for me, I like the heat, so just take out the seeds, or don't add jalapeno at all. Just skip this. Gonna slice it. And a quick dice. I also have about 1/3 of a block of vegan cheese I'm gonna use. And you can use any kind you like. This just happens to be smoked version. I find that the smoked versions are probably the best tasting and most versatile ones. Dice it, same, everything same size. If you buy shreds, just use the shredded. I can't get these in shreds, so I just dice it. Frankie! Surprised she's not here. Here's the cheese sticks. So for the dressing, I'm going to do a little bit something different, and I'm not going to use any oil in the dressing, so you can have this as a low calorie, but it's going to be packed with veg, so watch this. 2 cloves of garlic. You can use 1 if you're scared of garlic or don't like it that much, but I would suggest using 2 for the flavor. I have some cauliflower I need to use up. 3 of these we'll start off with. We'll see how it goes. All right, so for this you're going to need a blender. Cauliflower, 2 cloves of garlic, cover on. I'm gonna add the chickpea water in that we have from the cans left over. No waste. I could have chopped up the cauliflower, but I didn't. Slowly start adding the liquid like I'm gonna do now on low. Look at this consistency so far. Look at this. Pretty cool. It's very mayonnaise-y like. It's very dressing-like. Still got some clumps in it right now, but I'm gonna show you what to do. That ranch nutritional yeast that I talked about. All right, guys, it's me again. Hi, Frankie's here. I messed up again. I'm sorry. I'm learning slowly, not fast enough. I was talking about the ranch. I didn't turn on the camera. So from the video I did before, when I did all those nutritional yeast seasonings, the recipe is in that video. I will link it below in the description. There's several other seasonings you could actually make this dressing with, and they're super easy. You all right, Franks? Could use any kind. You could use the barbecue flavor one if you want. You could use any one of those, except don't use the egg one. 1, to 3 tablespoons for now. I'm just gonna add the rest of the liquid. Let's test it out, see what it needs. I'm gonna add a splash of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons, and I want more of that ranch flavor, so I'm gonna add another 2 tablespoons. 5 tablespoons of the ranch nutritionally used. A pinch of black pepper, which is probably gonna be 3/4 of a teaspoon, and then a pinch of salt, which looks like 3/4 of a teaspoon. Yum. But you know what it's missing? That lemon juice with the zest. So if you're no oil, look at this. Delicious consistency. Banging. Now for those chickpeas, just add them back to the bowl. Then I'm just gonna take a potato masher and I'm gonna mash these chickpeas up a little bit so they kind of stick together. I don't want them all rolling all over the place. Like that. I still want some texture, but you get a good amount of them all broken up. This is definitely one of the easier recipes. Once you get them like that, add the vegan cheese. I'm gonna add the cucumber. I'm gonna add that red cabbage, the green onion, the jalapeno. And then I have some parsley. It's gonna take about maybe like 1/4 of the bunch. Tear it up. Quick chop. And we're gonna add that right to it. And if you were gonna add any olive oil or anything like that, now's when I would just add a little bit of oil to it. If you don't have a blender or anything, a little bit of olive oil in this with some of that ranch dressing, delicious, perfect. But if you're going for the lower calorie, like I just am making now, then do this. Super colorful, and this will make a good amount of sandwiches. It'll make a lot. For the dressing, I'm just gonna add all of it. Super good. Nice, it's coming together. It's binding together, that's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna add this to the refrigerator to cool off a little bit, to chill down, firm up, and then we'll make the rest. I'm gonna clean the kitchen. All we guaranteed is a little change. Oh, I don't want. I got some amazing bread at the bakery down the street. Didn't have them slice it for me, so I'm gonna slice it extra thick. Gluten-free, use gluten-free bread. Use lettuce, or make a salad. You can do so many things with this sandwich. It's like this whole meal sourdough bread. It's freaking awesome. It smells so good. Yum. 1 tomato, or tomato, however you want to pronounce it. Frankie, you want a treat? Good girl. Oh, baby. Who's your daddy? Yes, look at this. Amazing. Now really, to round it out well, I'm gonna use some of those alfalfa sprouts. Good amount. I love alfalfa sprouts on sandwiches. We used to serve them a lot at my old deli. Today I'm gonna use rocket, or in America, we call it arugula. That extra bite. Beautiful. It is ridiculous. Look at that. Crazy. Beautiful. I can't wait to eat this. You're so patient. So patient today. I know you just want a treat. Give me a kiss. And I'm so freaking hungry. Really, really delicious. The bread, the bread, if you can get the whole, fresh baked wholemeal bread, super delicious. Filling with the crunch of the cabbage and the cucumber and a little bit of that flavored from the vegan smoky cheese and the tomato and the smashed chickpeas. That dressing, super tangy, like just a slight bite from the garlic and the lemon juice and the aquafaba mixed together. It's perfect. It's such a great summertime today. It's in the 20s, 22 I think, which is almost like 70 something. I can't remember, but it's a delicious, inexpensive meal. So good. Check out how much this stuff makes. 2 cans of chickpeas, remember. You got lunch for the week, or you have a summer barbecue, you want a delicious picnic, here you go. You can use these to make sandwiches later, or just eat it like it is if you don't want the bread, you don't want the gluten. And some of that rocket peppery bite, beautiful. Look at that, great lunch. For all you guys asking, I still feed Francesca the beautiful, vegan dog food with vegetables. You wanna know my biggest gripe with vegans? Is you can never be vegan enough. I get all kinds of comments, really positive comments, and amazing. And I thank you so much for all the kindness you guys show and the support for food and for the whole, everything else I've been sharing lately. But my one gripe with vegans is you can never be vegan enough. And what I've learned over the course of my almost 9 years of being vegan, and then also the 17 years of studying meditation and how my mind works, is that we're all on this journey. If you're vegan and you're vegan for the animals, we do it for the animals. And that's why I do it. For me, it's more about compassion. It's less about vegan, it's more about compassion. And that includes all beings, not just animals. People, humans, everything, every sentient being deserves that compassion. But when people come at me and they say, oh, you guys sitting on a leather couch. My couch, I saved up a lot of money and time to buy. That's a vegan Chesterfield couch because I'm in the UK. I saved my money to buy that. But people attacking and automatically judging, I don't know, it does nothing for the movement. It doesn't do anything. It shows you're an ass, to be honest with you. You know, so many people are trying really hard. Just the people who are trying to eat one meal a week to be more plant-based and vegan is a huge step for a lot of people. Everybody is on a different level. I've dealt with a lot of grief in my life. That's one of the reasons why I go on those silent retreats, is to really face into it. And what I've learned is the 5 steps of grief are very much like the 5 steps of going plant-based. You know, when I was beginning, before I ever went vegan, I was like, no way would I ever do that. No way. I was a chef. I was cooking everything. I wanted you to like my food. I didn't care what happened, what it was. I didn't care if it was a chicken fricassee or a filet mignon. I didn't care back then. I just wanted you to like the food that I was making, and I was trying to perfect my craft of cooking. I didn't put anything behind it other than wanting to be successful and building up my ego. But nowadays, since I've been vegan for the last almost 9 years, the steps, you first meet it with denial. No way I'm going to go vegan. You get all these meatheads that say that. Yeah, I get it. I was there before. I can sympathize, empathize. I get it. And then you start coming around, you know, all right, I'll try. I'll do 1 day a week because the family's doing it, whatever. You guys influence other people. They're doing it. They try. They do it the 1 day a week. And then they slowly grows on it. You plant the seed. It's all about planting the seed to being more plant-based and to being more compassionate. And that seed has to ripen on its own within you, within somebody else. There's no forcing it on anybody. I cannot force people to eat more vegetables. I didn't like a lot of vegetables when I was a kid. I love them now. I eat tons of them. I have a cooking show about them, which is so ironic and funny. But what happens is, like, as soon as you go vegan and your eyes are open to the whole atrocities with all the animals, and you know, I've seen it. I've been in slaughterhouses. Part of my going back 10 years, my job was to sometimes tour slaughterhouses. When you're in that space of death, it's horrible. It is horrible. Whether you eat meat or don't eat meat, it's freaking horrible. And for me, I just carry that with me everywhere I go, that grief, that impermanence. That's why I'm vegan or plant-based. I don't even like to call myself vegan. I just like to consider myself a compassionate, conscientious, courageous person who's trying to do the right thing. That's all it is. But for people to knock people down because they're trying or not as vegan as they want them to be, because there is no perfect world for this. There's no perfect world. We all live in this gray area. Me, especially, I feel like I'm swimming in the gray, especially here in England. The best thing we can do is to support anybody on their journey. If somebody's sharing a vegan idea, oh, I ate this, but they're wearing a vegan leather belt, they're wearing a leather belt, pick your battles. Vegans that come onto this channel, and I see vegans attacking other vegans because they're not vegan enough, is just not cool. That's all. I think you're amazing. Thank you for following and supporting everything that we're doing here. I really want to start opening up more and sharing a lot more with the food and the whys and the hows and the whatnots, and of course, Miss America. But I just wanted to share, you guys, if you ever catch me knocking down anybody that's vegan and trying, slap me on the wrist, because I don't want to be that person. And I please encourage you to think twice before you give anybody a hard time for not being vegan enough. Thanks for watching. See you soon.